What if I told you that you don't really have a disease? You have a story your body is trying to tell, and no one has ever spent the time to teach you how to listen. I was a medical doctor for nearly 30 years. I sat in thousands of consultations, wrote thousands of scripts, ordered thousands of tests. I could decode a lab report in seconds, spot patterns in blood work that screamed red flags, and recite entire medical protocols without glancing at a guideline. But there was one thing I couldn't do within that system, and that was speak the truth about the body's deeper language. Let me tell you what I saw. Patient after patient came in with pain that just didn't quite match the scans, symptoms that didn't follow a logical disease pattern, fatigue, inflammation, migraines, gut issues, chest tightness. Yes, we could run tests. We could prescribe meds. We could order investigations, x rays, ultrasounds, CT scans. But when nothing showed as a conclusive logical answer as to why they kept having these problems, they looked at me with tired eyes and asked, "Why is this happening to me?" And I knew. The answer wasn't in the numbers or the diagnostics, the seemingly normal test results that only serve to rule out common or life threatening patterns that standard medical tests could pick up. The answer lay in the unspoken secrets their body was storing from old experiences which had been too painful for the conscious mind and memory at the time, so they had become buried in the physical expression of their subconscious, and that is our bodies. Their body was expressing what their mouths couldn't. Trauma, both big T and small t, suppressed rage, unprocessed grief, years of people pleasing, perfectionism, and pretending it all had to go somewhere. So it went into the body. I began to see what textbooks didn't cover. The mother of three with chronic IBS who'd never said no in her life, who was commonly overweight, with all of that excess weight representing all the boundaries she'd crossed in her lifetime. The lawyer with autoimmune flares every time she took some downtime and went to visit her family. The teacher whose migraines often appeared towards the end of school term time, and especially after a staff meeting with a very critical boss. Their symptoms weren't random, they were messages. And the real tragedy, no one had ever helped them decode it. Not because we doctors didn't care, but because we were never trained to listen and just listen without labeling. And if I'm honest, most of us were terrified to go there because once you see the truth about how emotions shape the body, you can't unsee it. You can't pretend it's all mechanical anymore. And that was the beginning of the end for me. I could no longer ignore the evidence in front of me. I could no longer give my patients half truths wrapped in scientific jargon. I wanted to give them language for their pain, not just diagnoses. I wanted to help them come back into a listening relationship with their bodies. So I stepped away. I unlearned. I cried. And I rewired my comprehension of healing, and I wrote a book. So if this resonates, if you've ever felt like your body was screaming at you and no one could hear you or hear it, I wrote Unpatient for you. Inside, I bare my soul. I reveal how the medical system kept me in a bind. I explain the neuroscience of how emotion becomes sensation. And I break down why doctors can't explain this, not because they don't care, but because the system isn't designed for healing. And I give you the one thing I wish I could have given every patient I met: the truth, the bridge back to your body, and the permission to stop outsourcing your healing. Download Unpatient now and let this be the beginning of a new conversation with yourself.